Hey, it is Kenny's Audio File Record Reviews. Thank you very much for viewing my video. As always, those of you who are new to my channel, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. As you see in the background, I have the great Pat Martino, the great jazz guitar player. One of my viewers mentioned Pat Martino in the comments section of one of my videos, so I thought I'd another Pat Martino album, have him in the background during this video. The late great Pat Martino, the great jazz guitar player. But while I was vacationing at Disney World, Florida, as of the posting date of this video, I got back probably like 3 days ago. Me and my wife are huge Disney fans. I love Disneyland here in California where I live. We're season pass holders. We've been going quite frequently over the last 15 years, and we just love Disneyland. Matter of fact, Disneyland might be third on my list in terms of things I love to do, which is watching sports, music, and Disneyland and music are very close. But I love spending time with my wife at Disneyland. But anyway, this person asked me, Kenny, are there like 5 jazz albums that somebody who's new to jazz, just getting into jazz, that's going to make the transition easy into jazz? And I talked about this, I believe, in several other videos. It's a type of video you do over and over again because, you know, you come up with new ideas, more albums that make the transition easy. And so I thought I would come up with 5 and do it in this video. And I thought of about 5 jazz albums, and I'm gonna quickly after that go through mention 5 jazz fusion albums as well. So I'm getting to that, and I'm gonna start with 5 jazz albums. I'm gonna start with this McCoy Tyner album, McCoy Tyner, "Fly with the Wind." Now this is a jazz album, and it features a nice sized band. It features McCoy Tyner piano, Ron Carter acoustic bass, Billy Cobham drums, Hubert Laws alto flute and flute, and many other musicians. There's violas and cellos and several type of instruments, violins in this great effort by McCoy Tyner. And there's a song on here called "Fly with the Wind," and I think that song, that composition, the way it's played on this record, will make the transition easy for people who like other genres, who are trying to get into jazz. "Fly with the Wind" is a great song, and it includes a great Billy Cobham on drums, and he just this spectacular jazz drummer. And that composition, that song, "Fly with the Wind," I think will make the transition easier for people who are new to jazz and are transitioning into jazz. "Fly with the Wind" by McCoy Tyner, and you want to focus on the song of the same name. I don't play. I'm not going to play music in my videos because of copyright issues, but and I don't want my video to be taken out. But these songs can be found on YouTube. McCoy Tyner, "Fly with the Wind." Check that out. The next one is a vocal group. It's Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross. I believe this came out in 1959, 1960, somewhere around that time frame. It includes the great vocalists Dave Lambert, John Hendricks, and Annie Ross. And this is a really nice vocal jazz album. And you want to concentrate on the song "Twisted." That's a Annie Ross song. Their interpretation of that song is actually quite good. And the song "Moanin'" is actually quite good as well. And they do a nice version of "Summertime." This is probably one of the best, if not the best, jazz vocal group ever. Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross. They later on became Lambert, Hendricks, and Bevan after Annie Ross left the group. But they tragically had, the group tragically ended when Dave Lambert tragically passed away. But one of the best jazz vocal groups of all time, Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross, and concentrate on the song "Twisted." And then listen to the rest of the album. Another album I think is great and make the transition easier. And some of the songs on here, anybody from any genre should be able to get into easily. And that's "Eastern Sounds" by Yusef Lateef. In particular, the song "Love Theme" from Spartacus. "Love Theme" from Spartacus is a beautiful piece. This album includes Yusef Lateef on tenor sax, oboe, and flute. He was a highly versatile, innovative jazz musician. Barry Harris piano, Ernie Farrell bass, and Lex Humphreys drums. And there's several songs on here that are easy for non-jazz fans to get into and listen to and vibe and groove to, in my opinion. And that is Eastern Sounds by the great Yusef Lateef. Another album is like jazz in like an uplifting, like party mode, but it does it with very great style. It really does. And this is an underrated jazz album. This is Cannonball Addie Quintet, Mercy, 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 live at the club. Now, the original albums, believe said this was recorded in Chicago. It was not. It was recorded in Hollywood, California, in a studio with a live audience, and made it sound like you were at a live venue. And you can hear the audience in the background during a lot of these compositions. And the song Mercy, Mercy, Mercy was a pop hit by Cannonball Addie, also by this pop group called the Buckinghams. They did a great vocal version of the song Mercy, 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 the Buckinghams. I think they may have been out of Chicago, I think. But this album, all the compositions, because of the, straight ahead, vibrant groove nature of this album, it's easy for anybody to get into, because if you play this on your turntable or digital form or whatever, anybody who loves any genre can get into this album easily. They really can. But for those of you who never heard this album, listen to Mercy, 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 and then go from there. A great album. Also, this also includes the great keyboard player who went on to play with Weather Report, Joe Zawinul, on piano. Cannonball Addie Quintet, Mercy, 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 live at the club. This should make the transition easy from any genre to jazz, in my opinion. The next one, I guess this is the last one. Doug Karn Revelation, featuring the vocal of and voice of Gene Karn, I should say. This one, I think, is great because of the, I think the vocal style is like easy for people for R&B to get into. Especially the song Revelation. It's really a great jazz song. And Naima, which is a John Coltrane composition, they do really good, a nice vocal version of Naima. But Doug Karn on keyboards with his wife at the time, Gene Karn. This I would introduce or play for somebody just getting into jazz, in my opinion. And a very short honorable mention, this is a Dave McKay, Vicky Hamilton record that was, I think it was released around 1969, somewhere around that time frame. And there's a song on here called Moonwriter by Dave McKay and Vicky Hamilton. Check that out. And also almost like an easy listening type of style or type of song called See You Later is really good. This is just an honorable mention, by the way. So those are my 5. And I'm going to quickly go through about 5 or 6 jazz fusion records that I think that should make the transition easier, or easy for people who are from other genres who are interested in jazz, or people who hate jazz. Maybe this will make the transition easier, I think. People who hate jazz as well. And these are jazz fusion records, as I just say. Miles Davis, Bitches Brew. A lot of these I talked about in previous videos. Miles Davis, Bitches Brew. This rock-laden jazz fusion effort by Miles Davis, I think, is one of the best albums ever made. And I think this is the best jazz fusion album ever made. And I say this in many videos, it's not even close. The best jazz fusion record ever made. Miles Davis, Bitches Brew. I know that's debatable. That's just my opinion. Another jazz fusion record, Herbie Hancock, Headhunters. This should make the transition easy for people from other genres to transition into jazz. And you want to concentrate on the song Chameleon. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Chameleon. And Vein Melter. Herbie Hancock, Headhunters. This is an innovative keyboard album. And it's a masterclass in jazz fusion. Billy Cobham, Spectrum, the great drummer that I mentioned earlier in the video. You might want to check this one out. Jazz fusion. Listen to this to make the transition easier from one genre into jazz. Jazz fusion by Billy Cobham, Spectrum. Chick Corea and Return to Forever. This album's called Light as a Feather. Features Chick Corea on keyboards and many other great musicians on this record as well. Flora Preamp, vocals, Stanley Clarke, bass. Really a great record. And you want to concentrate on the song Spain and 500 Miles High. This is a great jazz fusion record. This is a very popular Weather Report album, one of their highly regarded Weather Report albums, and that's Heavy Weather. And this includes a great, I think Birdland is on here, I believe. Birdland is on here. That was covered also by Manhattan Transfer. They did a great vocal version of Birdland, but Heavy Weather, Weather Report, a great jazz fusion record. And one more, I think the greatest jazz electric bass player of all time, that's just my opinion, Jaco Pastorius, album of the same name. Passed away too soon. He was a master on the bass guitar, and you might want to give this a listen if you have not heard Jaco Pastorius, the album of the same name. Those are just a few albums I think will make the transition of people who are transitioning from other genres who have a small interest in jazz, or for people who just flat out hate jazz. Maybe this will, have them give jazz a chance, I think. But please leave some of your albums you think that'll make the transition from one genre, from people who want to get into jazz or people who hate jazz, help them transition into jazz slowly. Those are just some recommendations. Like I said, I talked about these in other videos, or the topic of records that jazz fans, who people are not fans of jazz, to make the transition easier. I think I talked about that in other videos, but I thought I would answer the viewer's question or comment in this video. Thank you very much for the idea, by the way. Please like and subscribe. That will help me out. Thank you very much for viewing my video. I really appreciate it. God bless as always. Strong love, and more importantly, please keep the peace worldwide.